Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to cover how page groups work. So when I'm creating a funnel, I can drag a lander group or an offer group into the funnel builder. You'll notice here that it says local nodes. Now each of these is a group node. So if I click this lander node here, I can add one or multiple pages to this group. You'll see when I add one, it changes the name of this node or the lander name to whichever one I just added. But I can also add multiple, and it renames this to a lander group. Now a lander group is just a node that contains multiple landers in it, with the rotation being set internally. So you can kind of imagine this like having a rotator node here, connected to multiple pages, but all summarized within just a single node. So this is pretty straightforward. If I send traffic to this lander group, it'll rotate between these different pages depending on the rotation here. Now, these groups are the same regardless of how many pages you have in them. So whether I have one page or I have 5 pages within this node, it's still effectively a group node. We simplify things by having only a single node type for landers and for offers to deal with this functionality. Now, if I just discard that and delete these nodes, we'll move on to creating pages. So in the global resources list here, which is separate to local nodes, you have a list of all the offers and landers in your system. If I drag and drop one of these, I create a lander group node, but it only has one lander in it, so we just show a single icon for the moment, and it has this lander in it that I just dropped onto the canvas. But I can add other ones to it, and it becomes a group node. I can change, or it becomes more of a group, and I can change the rotation just like before. This node is local. It only exists within this funnel, and all of the configuration for this node itself is within this funnel. But there is also global page groups, so I just want to clarify the difference between them. In these cases, when I have dragged and dropped these local nodes or dragged and dropped these resources, I have created local nodes within my funnel that only exist within that funnel. But what I can also do is drag and drop on these groups. So if I switch this toggle here to groups, I can see these page groups here. If I drag and drop one of these on, you'll notice it has this little G icon, which means global. Now when I click this, the configuration of these pages and the rotation is actually set outside of the funnel builder. And when you use these in different funnels, they're all connected. So the node itself exists only within this funnel, but the page group inside of it, it has its config globally set somewhere else. Now I'll show you where that actually happens. So if I go to Pages and Sources, I can just save this funnel, and I go to Page Groups. Here you can see Offer and Lander groups. These are the global groups that we can create. So a use case for this is you might have a certain set of landers which you want to use across multiple different funnels, and you want it so that if you change the configuration of that group, like you add another page or you remove a page, change the rotation weight, it's going to propagate across all of the funnels. Likewise, you might have an offer set. Let's say it's top sweepstakes offers. You might be able to change that, rotate in new offers, take ones out, and it will again propagate across all of the different funnels. So here, when I create them, I can just create a lander or offer group. It's very simple. Just add your items to it. And you can see here, this is like the config that you see inside the funnel builder. I can change this to 40, 100, and 20. Save this as test group for video. Save that. Okay, and now if I go back to the funnel editor, what I can do is go to Lander Groups, and I can find this test group for video, drag and drop it in here, click it, and you can see this 40, 100, 20 configuration, right? Now, if I was to change this to say 50 and save here, this is going to update the global page group, and that's going to affect everything. So let's say I save that and I save the funnel. Now I can go back to Pages and Sources, back to Page Groups, Lander Groups, this test group here, and you can see here it's now 50, right? And likewise, if I say delete a lander here and save it, and I go back to my funnel, this group here, you can see it has changed. So this is a global group and it's connected to this node here. So that is just the key difference between these local groups or local nodes that you create and these global items here. Now also note that landers and offers themselves are kind of global resources, because if you change the lander settings, it's going to affect that lander being used everywhere. This is kind of obvious or common sense. But when you drag and drop these, it still just creates a single node within this funnel. So only these groups here are global. But I should also mention conditions can be global as well. So these conditions here, these are ones that are created in the conditions tab, which we'll cover in a different video, or the conditions section. And these are global. So if I drag and drop these, you'll see this global note here. But these ones up here, these are local. Okay, so that's all I wanted to cover in this video. Use global page groups as you see fit, and hopefully that's a helpful feature for you.